Anna Flynn from the SEO Club, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how to leverage the data we got from Google lawsuits, so the algorithmic data leaks, and how you can use it to your advantage in any of your SEO strategies. If you are in this channel, I presume you all heard of Google, that was founded in 1998, and I think we can all agree that the unique thing about Google is that they have got algorithms that are able to scrape back then millions, now billions of websites, understand them, and try to rank which one is best answer for your question, for your query. Google became a giant. It became a state in a state. It became a new planet and became too powerful. And some people thought that this monopoly needs to be studied a little bit more because they are not playing fair. So we got to the antitrust Google lawsuit where they started to claim that Google is a monopoly. They are making unfair deals with other huge companies, and it secures their number one position as a search engine, and that they are not giving enough of fair advantage or fair play to any other search engine to come to the place and serve. When you look at the numbers, I see where they're coming from. Google owns up to 90% of the search market. Obviously, take this with a grain of salt because this number is different in different countries and it fluctuates. Bing is the second biggest search engine and their market share is only 6%. So you can see how huge is Google. Now let's talk about that Google is a giant. It is a very rich company. And from the research, I found that 162 billion US dollars were made on search ads last year and 32 billion on display ads. This is a huge number, and obviously, a lot of people and a lot of companies would like to have a tiny bit of this number. But let's not forget that Google is, as well as making a lot of money, expensive to run. Did you know that every single time you search, Google actually is paying for that search, is causing them? There are averagely 8.5 billion searches a day, which is a whopping number. And now each of these one searches costs Google 0.003 US dollars. Now 0.003 US dollars sounds like nothing, but when you do 8.5 billion times this, you get whopping 25,500,000 US dollars a day just on search. We are not talking here about buildings, about salaries, about anything else, just a search. So it is a fantastic, rich business, but as well is expensive to run, just if you didn't know that. Now, if you start to study the antitrust document, you will start to get lots of weird names here. And I'm in SEO for 16 years, and I haven't heard half of it. So we will find things like rank brain or rank enabled BERT or deep rank. I mean, Christ, I know what is deep fried, but deep rank, never heard of it. Nav boost, QBST, glue, and many others. So I thought I'll just make this easier for you, and I did lots of studying, and I listened to a lot of other podcasts and studied a lot of documents by other clever people. And I found that there are basically four pillars we can simplify these massive antitrust documents to. And this is what I'm going to be talking to you today. Now, pillar number one, I believe if you are in SEO or in marketing, you all heard of it, is the content. What is your website about? Content is important. It is, we try to optimize it for people, not Google. We all knew that. But in 2016, it was clear that Google couldn't really understand on page too much, right? There was document recently saying we fake it. However, nowadays it is changing because Google understands the on page better. Because we help Google with keyword clusters and pillar pages, and we really try to optimize pages and parts of our website for Google to understand what our websites and parts of the websites are about. As well, we try to answer the intent of our users by certain pages, and I'll talk about this a little bit later. And of course, we learned, some of us through very hard lessons with the Google March update, that AI content, they can really spot AI content. Now, to make this a little bit more interesting and up to date, I'm combining all these findings from 2023 with the March update. So bear with me. Content and March update. As I already said, it is punishing websites that are heavy on AI, that are not original, and they are abusive of the new technologies such as AI. If you remember, last year Google said that AI content is okay. Now it immediately crossed my mind that as SEOs, we're just gonna abuse it to a point when it's not going to be okay. And when March was coming, I was like, okay, another update because this is reality for any SEO since 2016. There are updates and updates to updates and new algorithms released all the time, so we're used to it. But in March update came and we saw things like this. A nicely growing building a website suddenly disappears from SERPs and you are like, oh, what the hell? Now let's talk about the AI content abuse. What is it? Abusing programmatic SEO. Now, I'm not saying that programmatic SEO is wrong, of course not. If you don't know what is programmatic SEO, is basically creating a certain structure of a page. Imagine you are reviewing casinos because you are an affiliate website and you want to make sure that you always have the name of the casino, latest bonuses, history, payment methods, withdrawal methods, maybe reviews from some trusted source like Trustpilot. You want to mention games they have, and you have this certain layout because you want to be creating the same sort of looking page for all of your casinos today, in week time, and in 3 months' time down the road. And this is correct. However, AI content made it very easy to over optimize this. You created a layout and just did ChatGPT or Gemini, and you just keep creating not 5 good reviews a day, by 500. And as you over automated this, there was no SEO optimization added to it. There was no internal links, there was no keyword research, there was nothing done to it. And these pages started to rank. There were no EAT elements, and Google is drilling it down to us all the time. EAT elements are important. We need to make sure there is a trusted source behind it, there is a human behind every review. We want to make sure that the data we serve to an end user who is human is provided by another human, even if it's in the end worded by AI. And many times the helpful content update was not included in any of these new pages, and that's why we saw this. Pillar number 2, links and anchors. Links are basically votes all around the web to your websites as a good source of information for certain thing in the internet. And I mentioned Google is scraping billions of websites, so you want to make sure you get this one right. And again, there are lots of ways of getting links: guest posting, link insertion, PBNs and link farms, proper good PR campaigns, original outreach, expired domain, reuse and redirection. And Google is trying to fight abuse of this practice, which is very, very big. And they want to make sure that only quality content gains quality links. Not going to lie to you, this is not always possible within iGaming, right? We all are guilty of some way manipulating the links. Now, Google became very, very allergic to the expired domain reusage and redirections. And expired domains could be that you just bought an expired domain and rebuild the website, or you used it in part of your PBNs, or just created thousands of link farms and keep selling links on those very, very badly done pages. And of course, it's not always wrong to have an expired domain. If it's domain on casino and you rebuild casino, then it's all right, and this most likely will not get punished. But if you get a pet groomer in Paris and suddenly you rebuild it as a casino in Norway, that is not going to fly. So this is what Google was trying to punish. And again, in link and March update, we will see that badly done PBNs and link farms are the ones that Google is after. Expired domain redirections is what Google is after. And as well, what to do: clean up your backlink profile, make sure to get better quality links, and stay away from obvious PBNs, from expired domain redirections and link farms. Obviously, different things work for different markets. And what would be absolutely no for US domains still might work for Japan. So take all my advice with a grain of salt here. I was talking a lot about penalties, and I will be talking more about penalties. So I want to just go quickly over the difference between algorithmic and manual penalties. I'll start with the manual penalties. If you get a manual penalty, you can go to manual actions in your Google Search Console, right? And you will find, if you get a manual penalty, that Google basically, or the human evaluators there, basically went through your website and found all the issues they don't like, and they will tell you you have got unnatural links to your site and affected pages, pure spam and affected pages, hidden text and affected pages. So if you click on this and clean up everything that Google told you to do, you can request a review, and you can tell Google, I've done this to resolve these issues, please review. And they will come review it. If everything is okay, you will get this penalty removed. Now it sounds amazing, it sounds like easy peasy, but because this comes down to humans and it's need to be manually reviewed, that means it needs a human to have time and manually check and review everything, and just think about it, how long it takes to run a good website audit. So this could take anything from 1 week to 1 year, maybe longer. And even though Google helps you the way of understanding what's wrong, it might take a long time to shake off a manual penalty. Now, algorithmic penalty is very similar to manual penalty. You simply done something wrong, and you will just find this massive drop in traffic, and you're just disappearing from SERPs, and all your hard work or cheap tricks just disappeared. Now, the difference here is you need to go through it yourself. You need to understand what happened. Is this a spammy links, or is this a better content? And you need to clean up. And you don't have to submit anywhere. There is no place to tell Google, look, I cleaned up. It's just the algorithms will take care of it. Just like the crawlers came and reviewed your website and crawled it over and over and found things they don't like. And in line with the other people, you just kept dropping with the other website. If you clean it up and Google starts to like it as they crawl it, you will, in a theory, go up. Now, this could be very fast if it was a small thing. And again, it could take forever because you never know. Point here is algorithmic and manual penalties both can be cleaned up, but it takes time and it takes resources, and sometimes it's very frustrating. Pillar number 3, and this is where it gets interesting because I believe you all heard of content and links before, is the engagement with your website, the clicks to website, and the soft metrics such as dwell time or bounce rate. I already had a picture from this document, but let's get back to it. It turns out Google is all about links. We already talked about it, and clicks. So the actual traffic to your website. What is it all about? Are people actually visiting your website? Are they finding it and are they clicking on the results? Is your website seen for relevant search queries? Or maybe they are seen, but people don't think this is a good result and they don't click. And what can you do to increase your clicks? Now, let's talk about this. Each page has a different purpose, which means you need to understand the goal of each page and make the page to answer that goal. And if you deliver that, Google will understand that and they will rank it as a good result, because we know that Google is ranking pages rather than whole websites. Now, what does this mean? When you have a conversion page, let's say you are affiliate and you have a review of a casino, you want people to click and convert and leave and deposit and make you money. And that's correct. If people just get to your website and leave, it is correct. Then you have got pages, let's say strategies, how to play, or maybe fun quizzes, and you want people to interact with those pages and stay on the page and scroll back and maybe share it. There you go. You achieved your goal. And then you can have contact or submit review pages. And again, Google wants to see that people actually contacted you and they actually used form on your website and got in touch with you. So remember, when creating a website, the different pages have different goals, and those different goals need to be met for Google to like the pages. And pillar number 4 is human evaluators, and at least for me, this was the most interesting and most revealing thing. I always knew that there are humans when it comes to manual penalties, to actually give you the manual penalties and to lift the manual penalties. But I thought that this was the end of the human element to Google search, because I thought Google is mainly an algorithm company. But it turns out that Google is using human evaluators. And of course, different niches, a different market will have different impact of the human evaluators. But still, human evaluators play a crucial role when it comes to ranking your website, especially on the front page. IS score is a satisfaction score from 0 to 100, and the evaluators are blind testing, so it's anonymous. They don't know if they are testing Google or Bing results. Again, that was a very new thing to me. This metrics called IS4 at 5 is used by Google especially to evaluate quality of the search result in top 5 positions, which means it's not just have you included the keyword in your meta title, but as well the UX of the page, right? Google will try to make sure that only the top of the top results are searched in the top 5 positions. And now comes the paradox. Because of human evaluators are humans and they have got preferences and they have got certain likes and dislikes, unlike algorithms, they created a parasite SEO and helped to promote it. Now, parasite SEO is the third thing that Google is fighting with the March update, but by now I would call it just a spring cleaning. What is parasite SEO and how is Google trying to clean it up? I still call it March update, but as I said, this is going to be a long-term process for Google. We know 3 different kinds of parasite SEO: partnership on subdomain, buying a website and adding a subfolder, and article or post with affiliate links. And this is being abused on big social media or social media. Partnership on subdomain. So, for example, RTL is a huge TV in Germany, and me growing up in Slovakia, it was a TV we would watch. And they added jackpot.rtl.de, and this is obviously a very difficult to compete with because RTL is a huge name. And a parasite SEO is basically abusing a name, reputation, SEO power of a huge website to your advantage. So this would be a first one. You would need to either the people running RTL has decided to become partially a casino, or they made a partnership with certain affiliates or casino to promote jackpots and make money that way. This way you will most likely need to split the profits, but that's a business decision, not just SEO. Another one is buying a website that is about technology or is a community website and adding a subfolder that historically has got nothing to do with that website. In our case, we're talking about gaming, casino, betting. So you would get a website, as you can see here. Under reviews, there is adding gaming, but previously nothing like that existed. It was just technology and promotions, and the website looked very differently, but there was not a sign of gaming. So someone bought this website, no doubt for big money, edit this and makes money of it. Now you can see that if you do that, a growing website gets affected by it because lots of things can go wrong. Either you have decided to clean up part of the website because it's irrelevant and you just want to make money of this gaming part. Your tone of voice is not exactly the same, or you start to pay attention only to the folder that is making money to you and you neglect the rest of the website. And this is when it's done badly. Obviously, I have seen parasite SEO edit to a technical website and it actually flourished because they've done a really, really, really good job. But I'll talk about it in a completely different video. So when you think of it, badly done parasite can kill your website. But even in a nature, when you think of parasites, they don't care if their host lives long. They just move on to another one. And now the most common one and most used by any affiliate out there is adding an article or blog post with affiliate links to newspaper or social media. We saw that LinkedIn was extremely abused for this, and in a time people were reporting this, and LinkedIn started to remove this. But as well, I saw a study that the Pulse part of the LinkedIn that was abused for it lost altogether around 30% of their traffic throughout the March update. So well done. Now this is present everywhere. This is in Ireland, and you can see the Sun, or Mint. This is for Australia. This one is for UK. How do you gonna ever compete with Telegraph Co UK? This one is for Canada, and it just gets abused all over. And the trick is not to post just one page, but you abuse that domain, but you still need to create more pages to support the part of the website and actually usually build a link to this. But I will have a video on Parasite SEO. How to use all of this that we learned in your strategy. When it comes to good SEO on page strategy, make sure to stay away from pure AI content. I'm not saying some AI is bad, but if the website is just a copy of other websites out there created with AI technologies, not looking into SEO quality and SEO optimization, most likely you will not survive. So I would advise you to scan every piece of content you are planning to upload to make sure that it's not flagging as 100% AI content. You can use things like Zero GPT or Stealth Writer, and there are many others. Scan existing content, especially if you see drops. Make sure to utilize EAT and principles of helpful content update. And as always, make sure that you create a very good SEO for each page. So you make your keyword research, you create good meta descriptions and meta titles, you internally link the pages, and you just help Google understand, as we talked in the beginning, with the keyword clusters and topic clustering, that this page or this part of a website or this whole website is about this. So make sure to nicely link it all together. When it comes to off page, you want to make sure that you review your backlink profile. And this is a good practice no matter what. Even if you didn't get hit, just make sure that you are not getting attacked with horrible links, or you don't have some links that actually are not good anymore, or maybe websites that were hit by the March update. It is a tedious job, but go through it and clean up. Utilize good links. Always quality over quantity, and this is a rule for many years, at least from 2016 when Penguin 4.0 happened. Make sure to link to your internal pages, not just the main homepage, because it is not really plausible that only the first page gets links. And use quality content for your outreach, which means scan it, because you don't want to publish content with your link in it that is pure AI, because we know that AI content does not rank that well. When it comes to clicks and on page metrics, study your data and try to increase your click through rate. Make sure that your meta title and meta descriptions are properly optimized for what you want to score, that you give people a incentive to click on the result. Make sure you optimize each page properly for each goal. Measure the engagement and keep brushing up and making it prettier to make sure that your engagement goes up. Understand the query to make sure you show relevant pages, and prioritize freshness if that's relevant. So, for example, if you are adding new bonuses, and they're going to be bonuses summer 2024, add the 2024 as a freshness mark to your title or meta description. Obviously, don't do that for evergreen pages. And when it comes to Parasite SEO, if you are using Parasite SEO, diversify. I don't think Google is going to be detect Parasite SEO in all forms and shapes and all markets right away. I think it's going to take very, very, very long time. So if you are using it, make sure to diversify, because Google is after it, and it just might happen that they find your Parasite SEO, just how we saw on LinkedIn Pulse dropping. Be clever about using it. So if it's being to be extremely detected in English speaking markets, do markets if you are covering that Google is not really caring about it. For example, I don't know, Finland, Poland, what have you. And as always, think about what's next, because there is someone thinking of what to do next and how to gain more visibility. And if it's not you, then it's someone else. Learn from these clever people, observe SERPs, and stay optimizing your website in the best way possible. Thank you for listening.